Hello.
Oh.
Ooh. Jinx.
Let's chat.
There's a quote by Emerson I love. I cannot remember the books I've read any more than the meals I've eaten. Even so, they have made me.
That could go a lot of ways.
God, I love that guy.
That was a name option for Hudson. It was on the table.
What does that make you think of?
So let's just focus on the books and we can revisit that quote for wellness, body, physical, food thing another time. It makes me think how, we're made up of the things that we're surrounded by. I remember reading a lot as a kid, and that was a huge part of how I would say, like, identified as a kid growing up. And I would say I don't remember a lot of the specifics of the books that I read. I remember like themes. I was super into Black history and Harriet Tubman. I love Black Beauty. I love Nancy Drew books as I got older. I read Harry Potter, To Kill a Mockingbird. So I do remember some, but I was always reading, and that's just a handful.
Yeah, I think that there are no truer words. Like I always say, we're the sum total of 5 people you spend the most time with. Like our brains are sponges, and we just absorb what we're around, long-term and short-term. And the perspectives and the lenses that we look through are just a reflection of that programming that we're constantly being subjected to. And then that compounds, right? So if you have negative programming times 10 years, it's not like adding in a row, it's like stacking in a curve. And if you have positive programming times 10 years, it's not adding in a row, it's stacking in a curve. And when I think about that, I think about how intentional I am with what books I read. Like whenever I bring up books to my friends, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is usually fiction. And then maybe something about biographies if it's an older guy. It's not intentional. It's for them, the intention is entertainment, which has value. And for me at this phase of my life, at least, my intention is programming. Like, what are my goals? My goals are to be financially free, to give my family the most options I can, to help people more.
And to surround yourself with thinkers, right? You have your like great thinkers little label too.
Well, that's how you get to be smarter, is you surround yourself with smarter people. Charlie Munger calls them the imminent dead. Charlie Munger did the same thing, where he's like, if I want to be surrounded by amazing people, all I have to do is read their books every day. And I am. From Socrates to Benjamin Franklin, it doesn't matter that they're dead. I think there's another quote, great leaders are readers. And you won't find one. Alexander the Great, when he would travel on war, he would bring hundreds of books with him, bring an entire library everywhere he went. Because all he would do is read. He was also one of the greatest conquerors ever, but he would read constantly. And then I think about our kids, right? I think about our children. When we read them books, we read what ends up in their room, what friends bought us. There's one book that we actually choose not to read that we were read as a kid.
It was one of my favorite books as a kid.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of the things, right? So as a child, you don't always really inherently know what the lesson is. Sometimes it's just about the fancy colors. And if it's only one book out of 100 books we read our kids, or whatever it is, probably 30 books we read our kids, that's not a bad ratio. People are pumping out good, healthy books with decent life lessons, right?
Yeah.
Ones that we're not going to reject.
We've definitely read them more than 100 different books.
Yeah, we read every night. But my point being, people are putting out a good product. An amazing product. There was a time when we didn't have books for kids. But are their products specifically about teaching lessons about money for kids?
So there is, I think of this one book that we have for Hudson.
Yeah.
Curious George.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
We bought it. We bought him like 3 books that are also Spanish English. And that's a stamped in my mind trip as a parent, going to Barnes and Noble and looking for these Spanish English books. And it's about how Curious George wants to buy a new soccer ball. And so he takes the lemonade, the man with the yellow hat's lemonade, and goes and sells it so he could buy his soccer ball. And I definitely think Hudson understands that concept, and he has for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how much Harlow does, but I think that would be the only one I can think of I would say we have well over 100 books in the kids' bookshelf.
And now our son is showing a lot of interest in building and creating and rocket ships. Like if you were to look at him as a progressing mind, we should be teaching him books that motivate him to build things, right? He should be reading like books about like Tony Stark, right? He should be reading a book about Tony Stark, right? Like a cartoon, something that inspires what he's already grasping onto, that has healthy lessons. Like, yeah, spend the time in the garage working on your item of creation. Like, do the work. Go in there, buy the parts, fix the problems. So he thinks it's cool.
Yeah, help fuel his fire and seeing.
Yeah, seeing that that's normal to be alone for a little bit of time and put in the work. For him to be like, yeah, that's cool. Because he thinks it's cool to sell lemonade. That wasn't us. That was Curious George. And that's great. Yeah, go sell lemonade, dude. So,
and we have done a muffin stand. I don't think we haven't sold lemonade. So to think of a book that does light Hudson's fire more with his current interest and fuels his flame is Ollie and Basil.
Yeah, which is, again, creating and inventing.
And he talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
In different contexts in our daily life.
Yeah, the lesson in that book is more about teamwork. It's about finding someone that matches your missing qualities and then teaming up. But it's a great book. And then my mind also goes to principles of investing. So, like, it's incredible when I talk with people and they want to open the door about money. And when I ask them, when you think about money, teach me about it. And one of the first things out of their mouth will be, money is evil. Right? That is the most opposite programming of someone who will make it. Like, and if this is striking a chord with you, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. If this is striking a chord with you and you're feeling a little weird about, well, I kind of thought that, and Jon, I'm feeling self-conscious listening to Jon. Oh my God, read this book 10 times, please, and your life will forever be changed for the better.
So how does this apply to kids?
To kids. I don't think there's any books that intentionally have messages about positive money stamping, but like teaching them that money flows. Money's a currency. We don't hold on to it. We don't hoard it. We use it. Revenues. Taking 10% for yourself, for your future, to protect yourself and others. Little things, balances. These don't have to be written in a dry way, right? They could be principles in a cartoon book that are easy for kids to understand and are cool. And if people grow up thinking, yeah, money's great. Money's what I use to help the sick kid with the heart that doesn't work. Money's what I use to make sure that my loved ones can have braces and are healthy and can enjoy life. Money is what I use to pay for the roof that keeps my family warm at night, which I'm so grateful for,
Yeah.
Good programming starts at a young age, just like bad programming does.
I think we have really started talking about money with the kids now, which is like Harlow, is 3 and Hudson is 4. We've talked about it for a little while with him. And he helped, collect driftwood with Jon and earn money. And he does like other little things to earn money, recycling. And it's an interesting thing teaching your toddlers about money, because I don't want them to stress about money. I don't want them to, like Jon said, have a negative correlation with it. And how do we teach it in a positive way and just have them have an awareness and appreciation for it, and understand that it does take effort and work and time to have it, and then what it means to spend it. That's a whole other side. Hudson gets a challenging, mindset with, like, a gift card versus cash is, teaching the credit card versus cash. Like, those concepts are still a little too non-tangible for him. We used a gift card at a yogurt shop that a neighbor had given him, and this was for Christmas, so 6 months ago, he melted down the other day about it. Like, he did not want to use his gift card, how there's no money left on his gift card. He can't translate, cash he gave and he gets it, it's gone. But the gift card, it's like that thing, you just keep tapping it and it has more. Like, why is it empty now? He struggles with that. Harlow definitely doesn't get that. But, he's 4.5 and like still like, why is there no money on my gift card? It's like, so how do we, teach those things with real life experiences and reinforce different concepts about money and finances as we're doing our daily reading?
Yeah, these are questions. Is there a way that you pour in? These are questions we'd love to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you.